So Phil, we're here at the end of the summer transfer window. How would you rate the business that the club has done so far?
I'm overall happy with it. I know that today will feel for some fans a bit deflating. I understand that. We always had a plan. We always knew the players who left today were vulnerable. We did our business early to cover those possibilities. So on balance, we're happy that we had a plan and we stuck to the plan.
What's the benefit, you said doing the business early, what's the benefit to getting players in early in the window?
So I think there's two benefits. One is without the time constraints, you're not being forced into paying over the odds. And obviously bringing the players in, they can train with the squad, they can adapt, they can do pre-season, and they're up to some sort of speed for the league games when they start in August. So if you had to choose, conversely, if you're going to sell a player, when would you like to sell a player? You want to do it at the end of the window when there's a pressure on, constriction of the market, and clubs have to pay. So it doesn't feel great. Like I said, for some fans, they'll be thinking, well, it's not a great day, but it's actually, strategically, it's the ideal way to do it. Sell them late in the window, buy them early.
And of the boys who've come in, you see Neil's scored 3 goals already. Camo's put in some impressive performances. Same with Ollie. So you're pleased with how they've adapted to the Brentford style?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've come in and played. Obviously, it's tough. Players coming overseas. We've seen that before here, where we've brought in too many at the same time. They'll adapt. They'll get better. For the young lads as well, Ollie's a young player. Neil's a young player. So again, they've got loads of development potential in them. So to have started how they have, we see, you can only see a great future for those players.
One of the things that's been talked about is how the club wants to be stronger after every window than how it went into it. In what way is the club stronger after this window?
Well, we retain a strong, a strong squad of young players. I don't see weaknesses in our squad. I don't see fringe players. I see a strong set of B team players ready to come through. So from that point of view, it provides a real good platform, not just on the pitch, but in terms of like the sustainability of the club in the future. It's not an old squad who's depreciating in value. And obviously, through the business we've done today, we've really stabilised ourselves this season in terms of finances. Maybe not stabilised, maybe not the right word, but we've brought money in, which we need to do. We've got to pay the staff, we've got to pay the players, and you can't do that by hanging on to players and running contracts out.
You say obviously about that, Hotter and Harley were both out of contract in this next summer, so the importance of moving players on when there is value to move them on.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just sell players, okay, 1 year to go, we're just going to sell you whatever value. You've got to stick to your principles. But especially when you've got good players, clubs will inevitably want to buy them. So it was important to, if there's a good deal to be done, to do it, because obviously, we can't lose huge value just by running contracts out.
Were there bids for other players over the window?
Yeah, we had several bids. Even today, we had people on the phone wanting to buy our players, and it was in positions where we didn't have cover lined up. So even if the valuation, in some sense, there is no valuation, right? But the answer, it's easy on the phone, no, not for sale, simple as that.
And you've already touched on this, but the boys who have gone, especially for those B team boys, there's opportunity to step up and make a place their own.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I look back at what happened with Alfie Mawson, and I think on the one hand, we did well in a situation to get a good sell on Alfie. So it's good business in one sense. However, I think we as a club have to reflect that there was a failing there because we didn't identify his talent and make a pathway to bring him through. So again, if we hang on to players and don't create those pathways, that'll happen again. And there's plenty of players in that B team who have the potential to go on and play for us, and we don't want more Alfie Mawsons.
And as a club, obviously, we look back to James Tarkowski a couple of years ago, Scott Hogan. This isn't the first time the club's had experience of selling players on the final day of the window itself.
No, exactly. And you look back at those two situations. Tarkowski left, and Harley really moved, up a level. He took on that mantle of the main centre back, and it gave Johan a chance. So, there's always players going to come through and take. You hope take the opportunity that's left by players leaving, and they become the new stars of the team, if you like. Scott left as well. Obviously, there was a lot going on that day. We also bought Sergi, and then we beat Villa 3-0. So it was a real positive. I think it was a real positive coming out of that day. Obviously, we haven't got a game today, and we've just sold some players. So again, it may feel a bit deflating for some, but like I say, it's part of a clear plan, and and hopefully now more players will step through and take the opportunity, and we'll keep pushing forward.
You say about players stepping through. Clearly, that's one, identifying young, hungry talent who are there to take that opportunity.
Exactly. We've I think we've got loads of players who have done well for us and can continue to develop. You look at Rico, or you look at Dan Bentley, or John Egan, or Ryan Woods, or even new players, Watkins, Mopay. There's plenty of players who will continue to develop, I'm sure.